All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. There's this one big question that's probably been nagging at you. That little voice in the back of your head every time you see a crazy new AI demo. And that question is,
Will AI replace me? We've all been there. You see some new tool that can write an entire blog post, or design a logo, or even code a website in seconds, and bam, that thought just hits you. It's a totally normal fear. But here's the thing. You're asking the wrong question. Completely. See, focusing on whether you'll be replaced keeps you on the defense. It's reactive. If you want to win in this new world, you have to go on offense. You need to ask a much, much better question. Now that is a question that gives you power. It puts you back in the driver's seat. It's not about what AI can do to you. It's about what you can do with AI. And the answer? Well, it requires a total shift in how you think about your job and your value. This is the big idea, right here. The future doesn't belong to the people who are just doing the tasks. It belongs to the people who are directing the tasks. In the age of AI, your value isn't about execution. It's about orchestration. So let's break this down. The doer is focused on, well, doing. They ask, how do I get this done? And then they execute. But here's the deal. AI is getting insanely good at the how. The director, though, they step back. They ask, what should we even be building? And more importantly, why are we building it? They define the destination, and AI becomes the vehicle. That's why the director is becoming more and more valuable every single day. And listen, this isn't some far-off sci-fi future. It is happening today. All that repetitive, task-based work, it's being automated away fast. The leverage this gives to the person in the director's chair is, honestly, it's hard to even wrap your head around. $1 billion. Just look at that number. What does it take to build a billion-dollar company? Thousands of employees, huge offices all over the world? Yeah, not anymore. This is what people deep inside the world of AI are predicting. A single person acting as the director with an army of AI agents doing all the work. One strategic mind could build a billion-dollar empire from their laptop. That's the crazy power shift we're living through. So the real question is, how do you become that person? Well, it really comes down to 3 skills. 3 uniquely human abilities that AI, at least for now, just can't touch. These are the skills that make up the director's playbook. Vision, taste, and care. I know, it sounds almost too simple, but trust me, these 3 things are going to be your superpowers in the age of AI. Let's dig into each one. Okay, first up, vision. Look, AI is a master of the past. It can analyze every piece of data that's ever existed. But what it can't do is imagine a future that should exist, but doesn't yet. It doesn't have hopes or dreams or that creative spark to say, what if we did this? That's all us. Next up is taste. Taste is that magic ingredient. It's the difference between something that's just okay and something that's absolutely brilliant. So how do you get it? Simple. You find people with amazing taste, and you study them. You immerse yourself in their work. If you're a writer, read the best authors. A designer, study the greatest designs. You just soak it all in. And last, but maybe most importantly, is care. This is the whole package. Empathy, emotional intelligence, real human connection. Understanding what a customer is actually feeling, building trust with your team. This is the stuff that AI is nowhere near figuring out. This is our human advantage. Okay, so now we know what the skills are. Vision, taste, and care. But how do you actually start building them, especially if you spent your whole career being a doer? Let's get practical. I want to share a really cool trick you can start using literally today. It's called the Canvas technique, and it's an amazing way to use AI to actually make yourself a better director. So here's how it works. Instead of asking AI for the final product, you tell it to create a canvas, just a first draft. Then you put on your director hat. You review it, you give feedback, you inject your taste. You say things like, nope, make that funnier, or this part needs to be more impactful. You go back and forth until it's perfect. Then, and this is the magic step, you ask the AI, give me the prompt that would create this final version in one shot. And boom, you save that prompt. You've just built a custom tool that thinks with your taste. Now, as you start doing things like this, you're not just getting better at directing AI, you're building something way more valuable. In a world where AI can generate a perfect-looking article or video, your ultimate defense is you, your personal brand. So think about this. You follow people online, right? You probably feel like you've got a pretty good radar for what's real and what's fake. Well, let me tell you a quick story from a lunch with some top AI experts. It's kind of wild. One of these experts was telling another guy how much he loved his videos. And the other guy just says, "You saw my content. That's not me." The person he'd been watching, the personality he thought he knew, was a 100% AI-generated avatar. The tech is already there. So if AI can do that, what's our defense? It's authenticity, real connection. A brand that people actually know, like, and trust is the most valuable currency you can have. You can't fake trust. You can't generate real relationships. That's built over time through real value and real care. So, where do we go from here? What's your next move? First, start using AI every single day. Don't be afraid of it. Second, raise your hand at work and become the AI person on your team. Be the one who directs where it goes. And finally, every single day, force yourself to practice these skills. Actively work on your vision, your taste, and your ability to care. This isn't just about survival. It's about leading the pack. So there it is. The path forward isn't about being scared of AI. It's about becoming the person who tells it what to do. The only question left is, how are you going to start using vision, taste, and care to become utterly and completely irreplaceable?